सिरुनाई किंग दंडवत पद पद सिरुनाई साकर हर्षि मुनिराई। बोलो जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामचंद्र की। एक बार गुर गृह अवदेशा गए अनुज संघ सचिव खगेशा कीन्ह दंडवत पद सिरुनाई सादर हर्षि मिले मुनिराई। जय राम श्री राम जय जय रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Sri Ram was a bit disturbed. His mind was heavy. He was very stressed. And in conversing with Bhaya Lakshman, he decides to visit his guru for advice, for direction, for wisdom, for inspiration. And as he was traveling to the guru's home, there was one thing in his mind. His desire would have been to perform a yagna. But no ordinary yagna. He wanted to perform a specific yagna. His mind was set on a specific ceremony, for the performance of which he thought that he would have been able to overcome some of the challenges that faced him. And so, going to the Guru and seeking shelter at his feet, my dear devotees, Bhagavan Sri Ram engaged his Guru in a beautiful discussion. Kahat Purana Naval Itihasa सुनत कृपा निधि परम हुलासा। जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामचंद्र की जय। श्री रामचंद्र जी paid close attention when the Guru asked him, "How are you, my son? How are you, my child? How are you, my Lord?" This is the Lord He's speaking now. He says, "Oh Guru, you know full well, because of you, every single thing is perfect enough. Because of your kripa, because of your grace, because of your love, because of your compassion, all is well and perfect indeed." And then he says to Sri Ram, he says, "I'm seeing, I'm sensing that there is something wrong." He says, "Oh Guru, if you will be pleased to grant me a desire, it is my desire to perform the Ashwamedha Yagna." And the Guru looks at him and the Guru smiles. Do kar jori sachitananda बोले बचन बानुकूल चंदा। नाथ चरण तव सकल प्रसादा। नाथ चरण तव सकल प्रसादा। भाय जग विधित मोरी मर्यादा। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। O Ram, your fame is known through all the three worlds. You are most worthy of all respect and love and adoration. He says, Guru, stop. And that is only because of your kripa, only because of your mercy. But oh Guruji, it is my desire to perform this yagna, and I wish that you should guide me. And my dear devotees, very beautifully now, the Guru started speaking very beautiful words, very soulful words to Bhagavan Sri Ram. That, oh my Ram, it is your desire to perform the Ashwamedh Yagna. Know that there is no Yagna that is greater than the Ashwamedha. It would benefit you significantly. It would benefit your Pitras, your ancestors. Your forefathers would be proud. It is an opportunity to uplift your forefathers and your Pitras by doing this Yagna. It is an opportunity to unite your people together. It is an opportunity to teach valuable lessons of unity and togetherness and working together, sharing a common goal. It would not only be beneficial to your Pitras, not only to you, not only to your family, not only to the kingdom, but oh my Ram, this Yagya would benefit the world at large. And so, my dear friends, very beautifully, the Guru, in the Ramcharitamanas, Tulsidas Ji's Ramcharitamanas, and I will also quote some shlokas from the Valmiki Ramayana, because in the Valmiki Ramayana, in detail, Maharaj Vasishtha gave instructions to Bhagavan Sri Ram on how the smallest detail of this yagya should be performed and the benefits to be derived by performing this yagya. सेवक पुरजन सचिव सब सागर तुरत बोलाय हो राम सागर तुरत बोलाय सेवक पुरजन सचिव सब सागर तुरत बोलाय राम सागर तुरत बोलाय हाथ बात पुर द्वार गृह रचहु में कान बनाय सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की रामचंद्र की जय. First thing Guru says that, oh my Ram, this yagya would allow you as the king to consolidate your leadership. It would allow you to be respected, to be revered, and to hold that position of authority not only in your kingdom but in other kingdoms. Tava prasadu japu jagyanika kinhe amita एकते एका नाथ सकल पुरजन मम अहि देखन अश्वमेध अब चाहि श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. चंद्र भगवान की वशिष्ठः संपूर्णस्य यज्ञस्य पूर्णं श्री राम यज्ञस्य संचयस्य पुण्यं मुनियस्य उपदेशं. The Guru now is giving discourses and is giving advice to Sri Ram how this yagya should be performed. What he says that those who dig the earth, those who are into construction, those who build, those who are architects, those who plant grains and food, those who plant flowers, those who perform yagyas, those Brahmins who have their various specialities, create opportunities for them all to have work and to participate in the preparation of the yagya. Go to those Rishi Panchangasya Siddhantam Dartritam Samayak Parityagyam Adityam sha upadesham rishi panchangasya siddhantam. Go to the rishis and munis and engage them in checking the panchanga and allow them to calculate a time that is auspicious for this yagna. And this is why, my friends, there's a fundamental difference between hosting a satsang and hosting a yagya. You can host a satsang anywhere. You can do a satsang anytime. Anybody could preside in a satsang. Anyone can read. Anyone can share knowledge. But Vashisht Maharaj says that the panchang must be calculated and must be consulted by those who are skilled in that profession of being able to calculate the position of the sun and the proper mass, the month, the paksh, the tithis, the nakshatras, the yoga, the karana, and allow for the limbs of the panchang to be consulted to ensure that the timing of that yagya is correct. Maharaj Vashisht continued. He said, "O Sri Ram, make sure that you engage the entire kingdom in doing and contributing in some way to the yagya. When you have to construct the yagya shala, those who will dig the ground, those who are specialized in laying the brick." Vashisht Maharaj Ji instructed Sri Ramchandra Ji that you must create an opportunity for work by every single person performing every single trade possible. Go to those who cook, go to those who clean, go to those who wash, go to those who will build, who will construct. Go to the Pundits, let them know that they must perform, those who will decorate. And so, my dear friends, what was Sri Ramchandra Ji listening to from the Guru? That a yagna is an opportunity to bring people together. Not only about sitting down, Om Swaha and Mantra and Puja and the Rama. This, what you're hearing here and what you're seeing here, is only one pillar in the foundation that is the yagna. People coming together, using their various talents and competences in a common goal for the welfare of all of mankind. And so, my dear friends, Yat Sarvam Suvihitam. The word Suvihitam is a beautiful Sanskrit word that means to appreciate and to value. Yat Sarvam, everybody should be appreciated and should feel welcome. So, in the Valmiki Ramayana, Vashisht Maharaj says, Yat Sarvam Suvihitam Na Kinchit Tat Pariyate. Not even a small error. Give your best, O Ram, in preparing for this yagya. Let there be not a single error in your preparation. Try for perfection in every single thing that you do. Yat sarvam suvihitam. Make sure that everybody happy, and there is love, and there is joy, and there is unity, and there is togetherness. Because, O Sri Ram, know that one of the fundamental pillars of doing a yagya is to bring people together, to unite them, and allow them to work with love for a common cause. Priti Chikdena Chetasya Sarvesham Atitinam Swagatam Sarvesham Smaranarupenam Adarva Purvakam Premacha Tasya Rupam Lanka Yudhe Nashtanam Bahunam Nirdoshanam Pranayam Paritasya Chetasa Etat Yagyam Kritam. My dear friends, without even Sri Ramchandra Ji saying to the Guru that this is what I'm stressed about, listen to what the Guru says. Do you remember why Sri Ram went to the Guru in the first place? Or did you fall asleep? Sri Ram went to the Guru because he was worried. He was stressed out about the fact that there are so many people who died in the war in Lanka. Innocent lives lost. And the Guru, without even Sri Ram saying a word, what he says? Lanka Yudhe Nashtanam Bahunam Nirdoshanaha. There were doshas, there were obstacles, there were misfortunes created and negative karmas created by the death of innocent lives in the battle. Use this yagya as an opportunity of atonement. Oh my Ram, that in whatever way you have gone wrong, that God would bless you and keep you on that path of dharma to help you to atone for the many wrongs that may have taken place, my dear friends. The opportunity for us to align ourselves and to balance, to bring equilibrium in our lives. Every single act you perform, there are consequences of those actions. My friends, nobody is perfect. We are never perfect. And this is why engaging in yagya like this, coming and attending to yagya like this, being in the presence where the mantras and the bhajans and the pujas are taking place, when you receive the arti, you receive the prasad, it is all part of you building your karmic wealth and establishing principles that would help you to function as a human being in this world. And so the Guru says that, oh my Ram, the best opportunity to atone and to seek forgiveness for the many wrongs that may have been perpetrated, for the lives that were lost, the innocent lives lost in Lanka, the opportunity to engage in this yagya. Aho Ram, swasya netrutvam sudurvam kurute anena yagyena swasyatam adhikarmam priti padyatu. Consolidate. Aho Ram, oh listen. Swasya netrutvam. Consolidate your reign as the king. Assert your authority by you yourself sitting down, O Ram, on the direction of the holy ones and perform this great yagya. My dear friends, you see, when you and I will think that the performance of a yagya is just using your resources, cook food, share for people, make prasad, sit down, do, invite people and come and they go. No. The Guru is saying to Sri Ram that, oh Ram, set the example. Your life on this earth, my Lord, is to set the standard and the stage for human existence, that mankind would emulate from your teachings, from your actions, from your deliberations, from how you think, from how you act and how you behave. My dear friends, there are 4 essential rules that should be observed whenever we consecrate a yagna. 1, samay, time. The time for performing a yagna is not based on your availability, or when Mausi or when Pua could come from Canada and America. It has to be consulted by the Panchang. You look for a timing whereby when you consecrate the puja and you invite the devatas, that the configuration, the alignment of the stars in the cosmic region would create an energy and a vibration, that when the mantras are chanted, when the pujas are being performed, that energy would vibrate, and that reverberation would create that energy that would bless the entire village. The country would be blessed. My dear friends, every single individual would be recipients of the blessings of this yagya. So the time should be specific. The second essential rule or pillar in which we engage in consecrating a yagya has to do with sthanam. The spot or the place must be properly consecrated. And this is why last night I mentioned to you that tonight we'll be talking a little bit about the importance of the puja. Do you know why a yagya is such a powerful icon in a community? Such an iconic feature and celebration in a community? Because of the puja. Last night I told you that the most important part, when the sankalp is done, when the pran pratishta is done, and when all those devatas are invoked there, the land becomes blessed. The place is sanctified, the earth is sanctified, the 5 elements are sanctified and purified, and so there is a kavacham, a shield that protects this yagya, that when we come here, we are now recipients of that energy, that vibration that pulsates within our minds and hearts, because, my dear friends, of the efficacy of the chanting of those Vedic stotras and mantras. So it has to be place specific. The third and very fundamental rule in consecrating a yagya is who is performing. Vashisht Maharaj ji said to Sri Ramchandra ji that, my Lord, I will get qualified persons to perform this yagya. so that when they chant the mantra, you will feel the energy and the vibration and the efficacy of all the ceremonies that are to be performed. My dear devotees, who we choose, who we consecrate, and who we put there, yet another very important pillar in the consecration of a yajna. And finally, but not last, is praying. Our ability to do every single thing with love. Yesterday, day before, I did a funeral, and on the creek, I said, when we were finished, I said, if there are any questions by any one of the sons, 2 hands went up the same time. They said, Baba, come now, we don't want to ask you. Look at that camera and thing here. Come on this side. We got to ask you on this side. This thing about fasting, Baba. How to fast? They said, do this, do that. One fella started laughing. He said, Baba, you know the time I do. Look at me, do hin. I said, Ram, Ram, Bhajo. That is a real vrat, you know. Pundit Avinashana is good vrat. Ram, Ram, Bhajo. And his daughter hits it right next to him. My friends, when you are fasting, the minute you get angry, you break your fast. What you eat, what you drink is of secondary nature to your ability to be mentally focused. And this is why, my friends, that we benefit whenever we engage in yajna. The benefit of being where the mantras are chanted, where the pujas are performed, and being in the sacred area. But do you know that the greater merit in being involved in yajna, in having puja, is your ability to fast? There are psychological and physiological significance, spiritual significance in fasting. The parameters of spirituality, physiology, and my dear friends, psychology in fasting. What it does, when you're accustomed eating all kind of thing, and for 14 days, for 2 weeks, for a month, you have to fast. You're saying, I'm not going to eat that. You know what? I hear they're having a line down the road. Oh God, if you hear the kind of singers and who come in there to dance. You know what? I'm not going, I'm fasting. Your ability to discriminate and to say, I am not going to, and this is how I am going to speak, this is how I'm going to act, I'm going to maintain a peaceful akupo, I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted. What you are doing is that you are putting your mind and your intellect in charge and in control of your mental faculties, and that is the greatest essential feature of fasting. Being in control. And once as you are able to control, according to the Kathopanishad, it has a beautiful analogy. It uses the analogy of the human body as being that of a chariot, pulled and drawn by 5 horses. These 5 horses are the 5 senses. Your ability to see, smell, taste, touch, hear. You, the individual self, you are the charioteer. And your ability to hold the reins very firmly and control these senses, control these horses, my dear devotees, is the greatest aspect of you fasting. It is about you taking charge of yourself. You developing a consciously healthy lifestyle. You developing a conscientiously healthy family life. A conscious, healthy marriage. And healthy lifestyle that will project you into being a perfect human being, at least striving for perfection. And my dear friends, like this, Vashisht Maharaj ji engages Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra ji on how this yajna should be performed, on the fact that one, it allows him the opportunity to assert his position and to allow himself to be a king that is not only admired in his own kingdom, but that other kingdoms would look upon him as a king of great repute, great respect, and great authority. Also, the opportunity to atone and seek forgiveness for whatever errors that he may have had committed, to bring his people together, to create the opportunities for jobs equally amongst all the various categories of workers and jobs. And so, my friends, the opportunity to bring his people together, to create employment, to create equality, to allow them to be able to work for a common good and common goal and motivate his people. My dear devotees, would have been the real success of this Ashwamedha Yagya that Sri Ramchandraji had as a burning desire in his mind and in his heart. Devotees, if time would have permitted, I would have loved very much to share with you and tell you two very important things that prevented Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji from completing this yagya. Yes, he did the yagna, but there was one obstacle in the beginning of the yagya. When the Guru looked at Sri Ram, and when they were about to start the yagya, to begin the sankalp, the Guru looked at Sri Ram and he said to him, we cannot start this yagya. And Sri Ram looked at him in dismay. Where is your Dulahin? You cannot consecrate the yagya in the absence of Devi Sita. And my dear devotees, Sri Ram bent his head and they had to create a golden image of Sita. Why? And secondly, after the yagya was consecrated and the horse was left to run into the wilderness, it is believed that as far as the horse would run, the king's wealth, fame, progeny, good name would multiply. His wealth, his name, his fame, his rule and authority would be cemented. But devotees, the horse could not run as far as love and kush stopped that horse right there. And I will stop the katha there, only to tell you that the greatest yagya has to do with how you live your life. You could put up 100 jandis, bhaiya. You could go to temple every Sunday morning. You could do yagnas every year. If you do not live and love and respect and serve and do your duty, my friends, then no amount of yagya could ever be beneficial to you. And this is why Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji, when the Guru looked at him and asked, where is your Dulahin? Where was Sita? Sri Ram had sent Sita into the forest, because he chose to listen to the remark of an individual whose words had no value. And if you were to, for those of you who are married, if you're planning on getting married, the vows are online. Look and you will see that we would never allow ourselves to listen to the remarks of any unworthy person bringing strife in our relationship. Sri Ramchandraji bent his head. My dear devotees, as a husband, you have a duty to your Dulahin, to your family, to your children. Sri Ramchandraji had sent Sita away. And what happened? He had, well, in this case, 2 sons. We will go into that katha the next time we meet here in Fun Splash for Yagna. But my friends, his sons were out there, and his duty as a father to his sons had the score of a F. You know, when you do good, you get an A. When you do not so good, you get a B. When you get a C, well, you have to work very hard. When you get an F, well, you F-A-I-L. Sri Ram, in his role as a father, he got an F. And this is why that yagya could have not been completed. I leave you, my dear devotees, tonight. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Listen very carefully to what Valmiki ji writes and to what Tulsidas ji says. He says, your yagya is how you live. Your yagya is how you serve. Your yagya is how you love. Your yagya is how much you share. Your yagya is how much you give. When you reach out to an old lady who has no one to do something for her, when you buy a blanket to cover someone who is freezing and cold because they are out there, when you give food to someone who has nothing to eat, my dear devotees, this is the yagya. When you have children and as a father you fulfill your obligation in providing for them a good education and a good role model in you yourself, how you live, so your children would see and emulate. These are the teachings of our great Dharma. And this is why, my friends, the horse Ashwamedha Yagya could have not been completed because love and kush, the sons of Sri Ram, brought that obstacle. As we conclude the Yagna tonight, my dear friends. I leave you with the beautiful words of Tulsidas Ji. Our greatest Yagna is what we do with this physical body of ours. Bhare bhagya manusha tan pava. Oh man, give a little, share a little, serve a little, whatever you can do for your family, your parents, your children. First of all, set a good example. Set a good example. And my dear devotees, how you live, how you share, and how you serve, the impact that you create in your community, and what you do to reach out there to help people. You might not have the resources to do as much. Somebody is in a problem, at least pick up your phone. Don't only spend time going through Facebook and flipping and TikTok. Call a sister who might be having some problems. A family had a death in their village. You go and you offer support or even words of comfort. In this way, my friends, Tulsidas Ji Maharaj, in this beautiful teaching of Ramayana Katha, teaches that our life is our yagya. And when we believe this, my dear friends, you will understand that Uncle Dev and Auntie Tara Yagna is not going to complete tonight. It is not going to finish tomorrow, but it is only going to continue when we go back there and be the best father we can be, the best husband we can be, the best wife we can be, the best villager we can be, the best citizen we can be, leading by our own humble example. Together everyone, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Ramchandra ki. One more bhajan. Last, we'll just sing one line. And this is one we all know. Please, everyone sing. Rama Rama Bhaju Rama Rama Bhaju Rama Rama Bhaju Rama 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 Siya Rama Bhaju Rama Rama Siya Rama Bhaju Rama Rama Siya Rama Bhaju Rama Rama Siya Rama. O धर्म काज पृथ्वी पर आए, दशरथ जी के पुत्र कहाए, जनकपुरी में शिव धनु तोरा, सती सिया संग नाता जोरा, ओ सिया पिया बन राम प्रभु कहलाए सीता। बोलो राम राम सिया राम, राम राम सिया राम। ओ राम भजु राम भजु राम भजु राम, राम भजु राम भजु राम भजु राम, भजने राम राम सिया राम, भजु राम राम सिया राम, भजु राम रामचंद्र की सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Thank you. God bless you. I'll pass you over to our master of ceremony tonight, Shri Chandrajesh Ji.
Thank you very much, Pundit Ji. as the Master of Ceremonies, I am giving myself a power tonight. You know, in the courts, you have senior counsel and junior counsel. In England, they have King's Counsel. On your behalf, I want to subscribe and award the title of Bari Panditji to our Ved Vyasji. This is not a gift to you, Panditji. This you have earned. I've been listening to Punditji for several years when he was a young man, when he was more handsome, when he got married in my village to my villager, when he became a father. All that is by the way. We are really truly impressed, very much. I think you have brought tremendous joy to Devantara. This yajna, like last year, means a lot to them. But as all the Pundits have said this far, it may appear that Devantara has done their duty in terms of their religious sacrifices and doings. It means what they are doing now is no longer for themselves. It is for us all. So listen carefully to Panditji tonight. You'd realize that the qualifications to host a yajna has to be met. But for us attending to, it helps us to obtain a qualification. So sometimes when you meet your friends, you'll tell them, you know, I've been to India. I went to the circus. I went to President's house. Wherever you have been, you can say tonight, I came to the yajna. And if you can do like me, I came every night. And I shall come tomorrow as well. In our audience tonight is a gentleman. Had he not become what he is, Ved Vyasji, you would have been there and he would have been there. He's from noble family, a medical doctor by profession, and in the public service here in the Caribbean.
Mr. Dio Gosine and Mrs. Tara Gosine of White Plains, New York and Rochard Road, Barakpur, and Dio Gosine Foundation of New York cordially invites the public to our Ramayan Yagna to be held at Funsplash Water Park, M to Ring Road, Day Bay, Trinidad, from Friday, May 16, 2025 to Saturday, May 24, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. concluding Sunday, May 25, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. For more info, call 1-868-685-4060, 1-868-319-1780, WhatsApp 914-482-3661, or email diogosine@gmail.com. All Pundits, Sadhus, Shrotas and the public are invited to participate. View live on all Sankhya television platforms.
Giri Maharaj रामचंद्र की जय। Beloved devotees, children of the rishis and munis, Maharaj ji, Tulsidas ji, very beautifully, with a pen of poetic language, he writes in this beautiful doha. अश्वमेध जगदानु राम अश्वमेध जगदानु करो अजय मत एक पुनि अश्वमेध जगदानु राम अश्वमेध जगदानु कुशल सकल संताप हर जगत परम सुखदान सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरण श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की रामचंद्र की जय। Beautifully he continues in his chaupada. एक बार अवदेशा गए अनुज संग सचिव खगेशा बोलो जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओ किन्ह दंडवत पद सिरुनाई किन्ह दंडवत पद सिरुनाई साकर हर्षि मुनिराई बोलो जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामचंद्र की एक बार गोर गृह अवदेशा गए अनुज संघ सचिव खगेशा किन्ह दंडवत पद सिरुनाई सादर हर्षि मिले मुनिराई जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम चंद्र भगवान की जय। Shri Ram was a bit disturbed. His mind was heavy. He was very stressed. And in conversing with Bhaya Lakshman, he decides to visit his guru for advice, for direction, for wisdom, for inspiration. And as he was traveling to the Guru's home, there was one thing in his mind. His desire would have been to perform a Yagna. But no ordinary Yagna. He wanted to perform a specific Yagna. His mind was set on a specific ceremony, for the performance of which he thought that he would have been able to overcome some of the challenges that faced him. And so, going to the Guru and seeking shelter at his feet, my dear devotees, Bhagavan Sri Ram engaged his Guru in a beautiful discussion. Kahat Purana Naval Itihasa Sunat Kripa Nidhi Parama Hulasa. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Ramchandra ki Jai. Shri Ramchandra ji paid close attention when the Guru asked him, "How are you, my son? How are you, my child? How are you, my Lord?" This is the Lord He's speaking now. He says, "Oh Guru, you know full well, because of you, every single thing is perfect enough. Because of your kripa, because of your grace, because of your love, because of your compassion, all is well and perfect indeed." And then he says to Sri Ram, he says, "I'm seeing, I'm sensing that there is something wrong." He says, "Oh Guru, if you will be pleased to grant me a desire, it is my desire to perform the Ashwamedha Yagna." And the Guru looks at him and the Guru smiles. Do kar jori sachitananda bole bachan banu kula chanda नाथ चरण तव सकल प्रसादा नाथ चरण तव सकल प्रसादा भाय जग विधित मोरी मर्यादा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा। गणनायक करिवर
सुखदाय साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाय साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाय एक तू ही रखवाला जग में एक तू ही रखवाला जग में तू ही सदा सहाई तू ही सदा सहाई साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई। तुझको भूला जग दुखियारा सुमिरन बिना मन में अंधियारा तुझको भूला जग दुखियारा, सुमिरन बिना मन में अंधियारा। तूने कृपा बरसाई, तूने कृपा बरसाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई। मन ही है तेरा द्वारा, बैठी यहीं से तुझको पुकारा। मन ही है तेरा द्वारा, बैठी यहीं से तुझको पुकारा। प्रेम की जो तुझलाई, प्रेम की जो तुझलाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई। साची प्रीत तुम्हारी दाता, इस जग का सब झूठा नाता। साची प्रीत तुम्हारी दाता, इस जग का सब झूठा नाता। तो चरण शरणाई, तो चरण शरणाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई। एक तुही रखवाला जग में, एक तुही रखवाला जग में, तू ही सदा सहाई, तू ही सदा सहाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई, साई तेरी याद महा सुखदाई।
Jai Sitaram. The last session of a yajna is always filled with many formalities. It is also very useful to be concluded at this morning. The morning session is always a very beautiful session. So we are about to begin the final session. Pundit Shivanand is there, my brother, could come in the front seat so Mr. Uncle Dev can perform little puja for him. Any other Pundits in the audience will come forward. And so while this is being done, we'll have a beautiful kirtan, bhajan done by Ganesh Samaru. We all join
We'd like to welcome everyone as well on Sankhya TV, people who would have joined us for the past nights, and of course this being the last session, Sunday morning. We are here at the venue, the Fun Splash location in DB, where the Gosine family would have spent the last week in worship, in puja, in Yagna. And as we now join in bhajan while Mr. Gosine performs puja.
जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम। हे दुख भंजन तुम्हें प्रणाम, हे दुख भंजन तुम्हें प्रणाम, जय रघुनंदन जय
Jai Siya Ram. So now we will have a few utterances, being the last session, by Mrs. Gosine and Tara will do a vote of thanks and whatever utterances she would like to share with us. So we pass the microphone to her, so we should do that now. So once again we are on a live stream, so we'd like to welcome everyone for joining this morning, being part of this final session. And of course the last session is always to acknowledge those persons who have contributed in various ways.
Sitram to everyone. To Punditji, Pranam. Pandit Sunil, Pranam. Pandit Sharma, the other Pandit there with him, Pranam to me. I just want to thank each and every one for supporting us and coming out night after night, despite the bad weather. To the Kirtan group, thanks again for coming once more. The sound system people, thanks. Sankhya Television, thank you. And Mr. Ramai, thank you. All the cooks, Mr. Prakash, for all the excellent food that we've been having night after night. And to Auntie Dip for making all the rote and for sacrificing herself, for coming here on time every night. To Mrs. Kesho for making all the flowers every night, the mala. And Mr. Guru Singh, Uncle Sugrim, thanks for doing all the work for the puja. And thanks again everyone for making it a success. Too bad we come to an end today. Again, Panditji, thank you. Did I forget anyone?
We would like to also call on now the main Pujari Pandit. Well, people say the Pujari Pandit, but actually he is this is the Yagna, you know. What we are doing is the pravachan, which is most important. But more important than that is the puja each day, and of course to hold all of the yagya together. Pandit Sunil Basdev would have been here before everyone, and he would have performed the pujan for the 9 sessions, the 10th session now today, and he's also the Pandit of the family, and we'll ask his blessings and final remarks.
Ayodhya Pati Ramachandra ki jai. Ved Vyas Pandit Artma Maharaj, my father Pandit Sharma, Pandit Ji, all the way from America, brothers and sisters all. I will ask you all to clasp your hands, close your eyes. May Bhagwan continuously bless everyone who participated in any way to make this yagya a wonderful event and awakening spiritually. We leave everything in the hands of Bhagwan, and may we be able, most importantly, to put that which was learned into practice, because that is what Bhagwan wants. Continuous progressional change, we pray. Bolo Om, Raksha, Raksha, Gana, Dhyaksha, Raksha, Trailokya, Rakshaka, Bhaktanam, Abhayam, Karta, Trata, Bhava, Bhavar, Nabat. Mahaganapati Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai. In this beautiful mantra, we ask the Devatas, we ask Bhagwan to protect us. Protect us from the seen, the unseen. Protect us from everything that prohibits and stifles the truth, that which stifles dharma itself. Protect us from that. And most importantly, Abhay Karta, please protect us from fear. May we always be fearless. May we have true conviction, not only lip service to dharma and everything dharma encompasses, especially as his bhaktas. That is what we pray for. Fearlessness and the right confidence and right knowledge that has been disseminated by our rishis and munis. May we follow in their footsteps. And may we never try to reinvent the wheel to suit our own agendas or selfish agendas. May we be true Hindus at all times. Commendations again to Devantaraji for this effort, and may your efforts be justly rewarded at all times. Sab koi Jai Jai Sitaram. Thank you, Panditji.
I know that Uncle Dev would want to say his final bit, so we'll ask Uncle Dev. Anything that Auntie would have forgotten, we were able to complete and make his comments and so forth.
Vyas Maharaj ji, Pandit Sunil, Pelbasdev, other learned Pandit, members of the Kirtan group, Shrotas, our fellow devotees here this morning, and those in the web world who are looking at us at this final performance, final day of our Yagna. I just want to say how thankful we are and always indebted to Pandit Sunil ji and Pandit Artma ji for helping us start this, hopefully be a movement of trying to bring the teachings of our scriptures to our villages that we live in. I am very sad because we don't have too many people in Trinidad, relatives. I left here at 20 years of age, 60 years ago. And you all have added to our family. I ask that when you see us on the road, don't wait for me to, because at 81 I'm forgetting a lot of things. Reach out and say hello. I'm never too busy to, and I'm never too fat to say I don't appreciate a good kiss and a good hug. Reach out to us and say. We promise you, or we've been saying that we like to continue. I hope, God willing, and I hope Pandit Sunil said the right prayer this morning, we can extend some life for me, or years for me, and we'd like to finish 5 years of this Yagna. We did 2 already, and we hope to continue that. There are a number of people my wife forgot to mention, the decorator Vasha. I'd like to say a special thank you to Sankhya Television for taking not my message, but a message of Trinidad and Tobago Hindu community around the world. We are forever indebted. I have been for 45 years walking around the world for Hindu causes, Indian causes. And anybody who helped me spread that word, I am thankful to them. Babaji, we are always indebted to the service you all provide, no matter how simple it may be, in helping us propagate and maintain the teachings of our scriptural texts. With that said, Baba, I think that's as much as we can say. Thanks again. If we have forgotten any one of you, it wasn't intentional. Oh, well, when you don't show up, do I have to still remember that? I told you I forget a lot of things. Chandresh ji has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful brother here every night. He showed up just in time, and he has been a wonderful MC, has kept you entertained and have keep you informed what's going on and what we are doing. Chandrashi, I hope you're listening on your radio this morning or on television. I hope all things are good with you, and we're waiting for you in a little while. But thanks, Chandrashi, we thank Chandrashi with all due humility for all that he has done for us. Paranji, before you end the yajna, I'd like to say a prayer for my ancestors who have left us. My ailing sister in New York, 95. Tara's ailing mother, 95. Her aunt ailing in New York, Auntie Suraj, 94. And I got a nephew in New York who is very not well right now. So that said, and I got a wonderful young man in New Jersey, Aaron. So please extend greetings and best wishes to them, and I hope they feel better. Thanks again. From here on in, anything after this is noise, let's go on to Pundit. Baba, it's all good. Thanks again, Pundit. I am forever indebted to you for all that you have done for us. It's not, we don't mention it, but Pundit knows what some of the hardships we have gone through in these 2 years now. Thanks again. I really, really appreciate when this yajna comes to an end. It's very sad for us. We are growing a family. Forget the money part. It's just I feel so close to all of you who have been here night after night after night. Thanks for coming. I really, really, we really appreciate your being here and being with us. Thanks again.
Angle the mic this way to the wall. That's perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much, Uncle and Auntie and family. They are the Yagya Karatas. They would have arranged the yajna. Of course, Yagyas, like everything else, starts with a thought. And to think about having an altruistic act like the one we have had here, more so in these times where things are not as they used to be. As I said on the first night, in the years gone by, yajnas and so would have an outpouring of physical help. In every way, people will come forward, and there would be preparation of meals. Lifestyle was quite different, of course, but you find that in a yajna like this one, it will entail a lot of finances. Almost everything will have to be outsourced, and service providers are there to create the comfort, the ambience, as well as the meals and other things that will be distributed each night. So we are very, very blessed to be here all these nights. Our sister Auntie Tara, her father was the Dharmachar of Guyana. So she has come from a very noble family. Doctor is here, that is Chandrashji's brother-in-law. He's also of Guyanese descent, and they have been here quite a number of nights. Many others would have come each night to give your support. You may think that that's coming to the yajna, you're not really giving any great support, but that is a support, because having all the chairs, having all of the preparation, the meals and everyone, then no one is here to come and, to be part of the yajna, then it does create a blanket of emptiness, of sadness. So to all of my colleagues and brothers, Pundit Lakshmi, we chatted a bit last night, Pundit Jivan, Pundit Navin, Pundit Rishi, and others who came during the couple nights, they all formed a very, very important platform. Actually, it was a galaxy of, illuminated by so many eminences, so many illustrious persons. They would have really created a wonderful feeling. So this morning we welcome all of you. We have some members of the Golconda Mandir here today, some members of our Truku Village Mandir, other mandirs in and around. My brother Kemraj and his family, his Dulahin, made the trip from Artma this morning, so we'd like to welcome Kemraj. He traveled to India quite a few times with his family, and to make the effort on a Sunday morning to make that trip to be part of the yajna, it's an indicator of your love, your support, and your devotion to Bhagwan. Devi Prasad and others who have made the trip, nicest to all of you. we would like to also sound a very important and clarion call to the Sankhya television and the persons who would have been here each night. They would have, handled themselves as usual, very professionally, very accommodating, very pleasant, and all of that. And it's a family, the members here, you see them functioning wherever you go. I think, without they knowing, they have listened to a lot of prayers, both on the airwaves, but being here, being part of the Yagna, what a great blessing it is. So to you, Shirley and other family members, we'd like to wish you all continued blessings and keep up the good work. You all are really doing a wonderful, wonderful job. So we have Arati, and then we have a little message from the Ramayana. It's the last session. So, what we didn't hear for the 9 nights, we don't want to have to say it this morning. Sometimes what we have to say is important. When we say it, how we say it, and most importantly, how long we take to say it. So we would not want to extend the Yagna any great length of time that we are here after lunch and things like that. So may we all stand as we join in Arati, beautiful Kirtan, Bhajan, etc. अतुलित बलधामम हेम शैलावदेहम धनुष बन कृशानुम ज्ञाननामागम्यम सकल गुणनिधानम वानरानामधीशम रघुप्रिय भक्तम वातजातम नमामि सर्वज्ञे सर्ववरदे सर्वदुष्ट भयंकरी सर्वदुःख हरे देवी महाशक्ति नमोस्तुते। हे रामा हे रामा हे रामा हे रामा हे रामा पुरुषोत्तम नरहरि नारायण केशवा हे कृष्णा कमलापते यदुपते सीतापते श्रीपते वैकुंठाधिपते चराचरपते लक्ष्मीपते पाहि मां पाहि मां। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित एवरीवन। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनिनाद वाल्मीकि ज्ञान विशारद सुख संतादिशेष और शारद परनि पवन सुत कीरति की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित संतत गावत शंभु भवानी औरुगत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि वर्ज बखानी कागब शून्य गरुड़ तेहि। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय
जय जय राम
चार वेद पुराण
अष्टदश सहस्रास्त्र सब ब्रह्मण कोरथ
तन मन धन
संतन को सर्वस सारयांश सम्मत सब हे
आरती
श्री रामायण जी की कीरत कही सरल कस्य पीति आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरत कही सरल कस्य पीति आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरत कही सरल कस्य पीति.
The last verse of the Arati Bhajan is so very instructive. It says, Kali Mal Harani. Kali means this age of Kali Yuga. Mal, the word Mal, it means impurities, it means dirt, it means all that is negative. So, Kali Mal Harani, Harani means to remove. The Ramcharitramanas is the detergent to loosen us from the grip of all evil thoughts. In other words, it is a textbook of human values. Why is it so important for us? Because this is what our foreparents, we are celebrating 180 years of indentureship here, or at least the arrival of our foreparents, for progenitors. This formed a very important textbook of values. Their names, the strength of Rama, the discipline of Sita, the commitment to family, the willingness to serve, the dedication to duty, how the king should behave, how families should live, the life of Bharat as a brother stands as a colossus. So all of these wonderful lessons is where our foreparents got strength when they read the Ramayana. It was a very important part of their lives. So Kalimala Harani Vishay Rasapiki Subhaga Sringar. The word Sringar means jewelry. It was the jewelry that decorated their lives, not gold and silver. It is the tenets, the rudiments, the values, the ideals, the principles that are enshrined here. This is how they lived. They lived like Ram and Sita. And so the Arti Bhajan says, we pray as we wave the sacred light, that may the blessings of the Lord be upon us, our children, our families, and by extension to everyone. So please sing along. Kalimala Harani Vishay
रसपी सुभग श्रृंगार मोती युवती की
Kalimala
हरणी विषय रसपी सुभग श्रृंगार मोती युवती की
Kalimala Harani Vishay
रसपी
सुभग
श्रृंगार मोती युवती की
Shri Ram Jai Ram
जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
हर निरोग भव
मोरी अमी की तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की
Shri Ram Jai Ram
जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai
जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Jai Jai Ram
जय जय राम
Jai Jai Ram
जय जय राम
Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Kindly be seated, everyone. Remember, if you are seated in an area where the rains can hit you directly, it might be useful to come up front, come out of the area where you'll get wet. There will be some bouchar coming in. The front seats here just for this morning will be for the same price. So if anyone wishes to come up, please come and sit up front. Yeah. Russ, you'll come up here quickly because you'll get catch in that rain. It's going to be a rainy morning. Rainy day actually. Very nice. Yeah. Okay, so the rain just came to make sure everybody come a little closer. So we may have to open back the air condition soon. So you can open it back a little bit once the place gets a little cool, yeah, because it's going to get very hot, yeah. So let's all sing a little bit to Bhagwan. Jo sumirat siddhi hoy, gannayak kari bad badna, karahu anugrah buddhirasi suhagun sadana.
मुख होए वाचा
पंगु चढ़े गिरिवर गाना, जासु कृपा सुदया
तरव
सकल कलिमल जाना।
नील सरोवर
अरुण बारिज नयना, करहु सुमम सदाचीर सागर सयना। कुंद इंदु समदे कुमार मन करुणा अयना, जाहि दीन परमे करहु कृपा मर्दन मय। Everyone, बंदो गुरु पदकन कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरे, महामोह तम जासु बचन रवि कर निकरा। Ramachandra ki jai. Very nice. So this morning, before we begin the katha, we'd like to sing a bhajan, an old bhajan that most of us are familiar with. Some of the words we may know, some we may not know, but we'll all try to join along and blend our voices. It's a very simple bhajan, and one that our foreparents sang for many, many years. It describes some of the nice lessons of the scripture, so we all join together. We also have some choral on stage. Masha, is there others? Please provide some chorus. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. So we are not getting all the voices. The only person I'm hearing from here is Chandresh, and he normally doesn't sing. And look, he is singing this morning, so that is not a good sign. And maybe that's why the rains came, because he normally doesn't sing very much. So we'll all join together. Bhajuman and Narayan. We have our sister Indra is here. We'll ask her to come and help us chorus. She can sing so beautifully. Her mother was Such a great blessed singer. So Indra, please come help us chorus. Get a next mic. Such a beautiful bhajan. Everybody will blend your voices together. Yeah, members on that end, come. Yeah, right. Come, Indra. So everybody will join and blend your voices. Sing along. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. वृंदावन में रहसर छो है, वृंदावन में रहसर छो है, सहस गोपी नारायण भजुमन नारायण 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 भजुमन नारायण भजुमन नारायण नारायण नारायण. Shabari ke phal. Shabari was a devotee who waited the entire life for the Lord. Patience, love, preparation of her life, a lifetime of service. And one day the Lord came barefooted to her home and ate her food, sat with her, blessed her, complimented her, told her, "You are so beautiful." One day you and I will have to meet with the Lord. One day He too will visit. We too will have a wonderful embrace. But the bhajan says, Shabari ke Sudama ke tandu. Sudama and Shabari, both of them offered the simple, unassuming food to Bhagavan, but He blessed them. Beautiful reminder of love, devotion, bhakti. Everyone? Shabari ke phal ruchi ruch khayo. Shabari ke phal ruchi ruch khayo. Bhakta Sudama Narayan Bhajuman Narayan 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 Bhajuman Narayan 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 Bhajuman Narayan Narayan Narayan. So please note, Bhagavan Krishna blessed Sudama ji. Maybe you and I in today's world should remember always, puja, yajna, prayers, worship is not a public display. It is only bhakti, it is only devotion. Bhagavan is not impressed by any external outpouring of devotion. There may be a magnanimous outpouring of love on the out of the devotion, the bhakti that melts the heart of the Lord. So the bhajan reminds us, Duryodhan ghar meva tyago. Duryodhan ghar meva tyago. Duryodhan ghar meva tyago. Duryodhan साग विदुर घर नारायण भजमन नारायण 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 भजमन नारायण 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 भजमन नारायण 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 भजमन नारायण नारायण. Duryodhan was a great king. He had all of the pomp and pageantry, all of the extended food to Bhagavan. But the verse tells us, Duryodhana ghara meva tyago. All that was offered was so beautifully prepared. Golden vessels, but Bhagavan did not partake. In fact, there's a lovely verse that is written in the Bhagavad that Krishna says, I partake only twice you will have bhojan at someone's home. When you are famished, you are so hungry, you cannot help yourself. So by force you have to eat. And the second reason is when there is an outpouring of love, when there is a feeling that wells up in the person's heart, that the warmth, the hospitality, the devotion forces you to eat. Bhagavan Krishna told Duryodhana, I am not hungry, and there is an absence of love. So, anything we do, if the absence of love and devotion is there, if you do not feel that bhakti and sincerity, then it becomes a big facade, a big front, a big show. And that is not what Bhagavan wants. So, Duryodhana ghara meva tyago, sag. Well, you know what is sag? Sag is bhaji. He ate the food from Vidur. If you read the Bhagavad, there are many chapters where Vidur Gita, he spoke eloquently of the greatness of Bhagavan. So, to all of us here today, when we speak of value, most times as you say value, someone thinks of dollars and cents. No. Your values, the humility, your love, your sincerity, your willingness to serve, your commitment to family, being an exemplar, that makes you shine. So Duryodhana ghara meva tyago saga vidur ghara kharaya. This bhajan has so many verses, but we'll do one or two more because so beautiful. Our deceased Dharmachar, which is just a couple of 100 meters from here, this was the bhajan that he would sing. Our older Pundits, they will always sing this bhajan, sometimes on a daily basis. It was the bhajan that everyone knew and everyone chanted. Let's do one or two more lines. Aja mil sut he tu pukarat, aja mil sut he tu pukarat, naam let bhau parayan, bhajman narayan, narayan, bhajman narayan, narayan. Ajamil was the son of a Brahmin. He was an errant boy. He had turned his back on his father, his family. He got caught in a mesh of delusion. He got caught in the maya of the world. And Ajamil had nowhere to go. Of course, in his old days, in his last days of his life, Ajamil, what he did, his last son, he had many children. The last son, he put his name Narayan, Panditji. Chandrish, welcome Panditji. So in the last days of his life, you know what happened? Ajamil, he's on his deathbed. And he's seeing the Jamadutas, he's seeing all these negative, you know how you live. How you live, it is going to determine how you die. When I say how you die, Mahatma Gandhi, when he died, he was shot, but he saw Ram. He called out to Ram. The circumstances may be different, but you die at peace. So Ajamil, he was seeing all these negative, ominous things. He did not know what to do. And he called upon his son Narayan, because he loved the Narayan very much. When he called upon Narayan, you know, his life was extended. He didn't die. God extended his life. And he served Bhagavan. He you know, his ways were mended. And in the last days of his life, he served Bhagavan. So tonight, or this morning rather, to all of you who are here, and those who are listening to us, Life is beautifully short. Sometimes people cannot cross. They cannot cross the street to say hello to you. Children sometimes cannot find the time to give you a phone call, but they will cross the ocean to come to bury you. They will come to do all of the elaborate ceremonies. You know why? Regret, remorse, repentance. It is very bitter. It makes all of us feel very sad. Why didn't I do it? Why didn't I mend the fence? So it's easier to build a table where we could share a meal than to build a wall to separate us. Life is short. Life is very short. 180 years of our parents would have come to these shores. Most of us here, including me, we don't know what it is to work from sun up to sundown. We don't know what it is to walk for miles to get water. The absence of transport, the cell phone, and all of the wonderful things that we have today, the toys that we have. Our foreparents, our Pundits of yesterday had to walk. They had to be residential. In this Yagna here, if this Yagna was 30, 40 years ago, the Pundit will be staying here. Because transport would be different. Everybody would be residential. And that is why today as we sing this bhajan, let us remember that we do not know. Uncle Dev and Auntie Tara is saying, 5 years, next year, kal kya hoga koi na jane. We don't even know what is going to be tomorrow. All we could say, thank you Bhagavan for what we have. So we have a lot of aspirations for the future. But remember, life is very, very, very short. So if you did not sing before, please sing. We welcome my brother, younger brother, Pundit Rishi. Everyone. Narayan Prabhu, Narayan Prabhu, Narayan Prabhu, Narayan Prabhu, Narayan Prabhu, Narayan Prabhu, Majuman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Majuman Narayan, 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 Majuman Narayan, Narayan, Majuman Narayan, Narayan, Majuman Narayan, Narayan. Bolo Vishnu Bhagavan ki. You all sang very well. Say thank you, Panditji. Yeah, you all sang very well. Actually, it's when I started, the rains came. When you started, it kind of subsided. So you all sang very well. And you know, they say, I have no training as a singer. I do not know. You know, there's a song that says, Surati gati mein kya janu. You know, that bhajan says, I do not know the intricacies of music. All I know is to call your name with love. So do not say I cannot sing. Remember, one day you'll be lying in the coffin, everybody will be singing for you. You cannot say a word. I mean, it's something to think of. To think of, you know, why you should chant, why you should meditate and sing Bhagavan's name. So I've just opened a passage here in Uttarkand of the Ramayana. I'll just do maybe 1 or 2 lines. And then we'll conclude. This is the last session. We have had all of the little speeches before, so it makes it easy at the end. So we like all of you to join. This is one of the prophecies. You know, the Ramayana has so many wonderful lessons. But this particular part of the Ramayana is a prophecy. Where Kakbasun telling Garuji, he's describing of a previous time what was the occurrences, what was prevalent, what happens in the Kali Yuga. You know, we are living in this age of Kali. So it's quite interesting because when you read this verse, these couple lines, there's so many lines here, but when you read them, you will decide that if these things are really happening. But it also has a very powerful ending. It tells us in the age of Kali Yuga that we are living in, while all of these, we are soaked with a blanket of negativity. We see immorality, injustice, illegality raising their ugly heads. It seems to us that good people are being trampled upon, the negative ones are prospering. We see these things and we wonder, we throw up our arms. Why is this happening? Betrayal, immorality, the lack of love, and that togetherness and bonding seems to be almost non-existent. But then this katha ends off that what is most important. And I want to mention this to you. I think I mentioned it this morning. In 1893, when Swami Vivekananda preached at the Parliament of Religions, he says, and I'm sure we use the term very openly as if it's a good thing, but to be tolerant of someone is not the Hindu way. Any form of worship, any aspect of worship, if you think of Ganesh Ji, you think of Ma Durga, you think of any form, Bhagwan's forms, and I think Bhagwan in Hinduism is multilingual. Any language, any form is his form. So Swami Vivekananda says, to tolerate someone means I know the truth. You do not know the truth, but I will tolerate you for being wrong. I put up with you. The Hindu way is acceptance. What it means is that whatever choices, whatever decisions, whatever may happen, however people choose to pray and live their lives, they are still our brothers and sisters. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we should always rise to that level. In a home, if Uncle Deo, Auntie Tara, if he says, I tolerate you, it's a very harsh term to use. You do not tolerate someone, you accept them. They will be different. Their lifestyle will be different. Their choices will be different. But it is the differences that make us strong and not weak. So in this lovely little passage here, I will try to do a couple of verses. I hope that you all could connect with what is happening in society today and what is the Ramayana, what is the Ramcharitamanas talking about prophecy in this age of Kali Yuga. Let us all join. Bolo Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sometimes I'm not hearing the chorus, but that's all right. It's because of the rain, I guess. Bolo Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bolo Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Kalimal grase dharma sab lupt bhaye sadgranth dambhin nij mat kalp kari pragat bhaye bahupan. Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram,
Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram. Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram.
लोग सब मोह बस लोभ कर से शुभ कर्म सुनो हरि ज्ञान ज्ञान निधि कहु कछ कलि कर्म. बोलो राम, बोलो राम,
Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram.
कलिमल ग्रसे धर्म सब लुप्त भय सदग्रंथ दम्बिन निज मत कल्प करी प्रगट किए बहुपन. Everyone. बोलो राम जय जय राम. बोलो राम जय जय राम. बोलो राम जय जय राम.
बोलो राम जय जय राम.
Now, when I read these verses, do not think at any time that I am trying to say, because some of the things may fall directly upon us, and we may think that, why is Panditji looking at me and saying that? Maybe he is talking to me. I'm not. It is just a general thing. So let's listen. It says, in the age of Kali Yuga grase dharma. Grase means to be engulfed. It means to be swallowed. Virtue, goodness, truth, morality, justice, righteousness, the things that people died for will be swallowed. It will be almost invisible. Like people will lie and they would do things that you would normally feel bad about. Like they would say, my dad used to say, if someone has to lie, they can't look at you in their face. They would turn left and right because, they're guilty. If he was alive today, I could tell him that is not true. In today's world, people lie, they cry, they sign documents, they make all these things, and without any feeling of, it's like, it shocks you. So it says here, straight here. So Kali malagrase dharm lupt bhaye sad grant. Lupt means hidden. The books. Grant means the books. The books that is supposed to be guiding us. Like how Bharat would live, how Ram should live, how Sita should live. These things will not be, you ask yourself, how many brothers today, how many brothers and sisters today live like Ram and Lakshman? Lakshman was never asked to go to the kingdom, right? He gave up his kingdom. He gave up wealth, luxury, pomp, pageantry, fame, everything to serve his brother. Today we see brothers, many of the courts, they would not be a backlog because it is so many families who listen to yajnas and in pujas, and so it is such a sad state of affairs that here it is like everyone is following the Bali and Sugriv lesson, fighting, struggling. What is it? He says, there'll be new religions every Monday morning. Everyone will open a church at their home. Everybody have some new idea. You, in one village sometimes, you have 15, 20, 25 new churches, new groups, new fragments. Everyone, in this age of Kali Yuga, religions, what the word religion means? Religio, Latin, it means to bring you back home, to bring you back to the source. You find that most of these creeds or most of these new groups will be it will be for spurious undertakings, just for monetary gains and other kinds of stuff. Bhaye log sab moha basa lupt bhaye shubh karma. One thing is for sure, in this age of Kali Yuga, you will see, this is Kak Busun Telir Garuji. He says, let me tell you, people will talk. When they talk, you would think that Bhagwan himself has come. They would have the biggest, most beautiful oratorical skills. They could charm you, they could talk, apt and melodious, beautiful words, but they are swallowed by greed. Greed and anger will be the normal trait of the day. Everybody gets up. Now you speak to someone, I don't want to use the wrong examples. Anyhow, but I'll still use it. So, a Pundit was doing a puja, So somehow he puts the things down a little hard on the ground, the lota. So the lady says, Panditji, are you upset? He said, he was a very smart lady. How you know I'm upset? She said, well, I notice how you're moving. He said, well, I'm upset. I'm very upset. And you all just feel that all you alone could get upset. But we just get upset too, I have my problems too. So the lady said, well, Panditji, I'm sorry to hear that you're upset. But you are the teacher. You are the guide. You are the exemplar. You are the one to give us the strength. So don't be upset. So when you fly into a rage, when you get upset, when you get angry, they say those who fly into a rage have a rough landing. But in the age of Kali Yuga, everybody, the kids seem to be upset. Everybody seems to be getting on edge. It is a normal thing. He says, oh, Gosine says, Guruji, men have all fallen prey to delusion and pious acts. They are swallowed with greed, anger, hate, animosity. It is such a sad state of affairs. Just 2 or 3 lines will do. What happens? Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. 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 Vijay Shruti Panchak Bhupa Prajasan. कोई नहीं मान निगम अनुशासन.
राम जय राम, जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
मार्ग सोई जो कछु जोई भावा. पंडित सोई जो गाल बजावा. नित्यारंभ दम्भरत जोई. ताकह संत कह सब कोई. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. सोई सयान जो पर धनहारी. जो कर दम्भ सो पर आचारी. जो कह झूठ मस्करी जाना. कलियुग सोई गुणवंत बखाना. श्री राम जय everyone.
जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
The Pundits will be selling books, not in a bookshop. They'll be selling their scriptures. They'll be compromising. When I say compromising, rules become suggestions. Things have all gotten mixed up in the sense that what is supposed to be the status quo, what is supposed to be the normal run of things, will all be compromised in the sense of values and things that will all be mixed up. Marag soija kachuk joi bhava. That's a very interesting line. It says here, what will be the right thing to do? And we hear it all the time. If you ask someone, why are you doing that? Because I think it's right. That's what it means. Everything becomes right if you think it's right. So if you think it's right, it's right. So everybody feel, have you seen it on the roads? Have you seen that? 2 guys, 1 car is parked and 2 fellas facing each other, and they say, I could remain here whole day, And the children in the car, the family in the car, and then them fellas go on below the seat to take out a piece of wood or something. And you wonder, because everybody is right. So we live in a society where everybody thinks they are right. So he says this is going to be the norm. Pandit joiso gal bajawa. Gal bajawa. Don't try to learn the words. Gal bajawa means to kicks, to laugh, to make joke. A joke session. The pundits and the most popular and the pundits who will be the pundits of the day, the men of the day will be the fellows who could kicks, who could make you laugh, who could make, it's like a whole session of jokes. And they say, boy, I went to the prayers last night. It was such an I was entertained. I laughed till I almost fall off my chair. So it's really something to think of. Kak Busun says, this is going to be the order of the day. Soi sayan, soi paradhanahari. People will be called intelligent. They'll be called learned people when they could swindle and outsmart others and disrespect others' families, and they have no respect for others' wealth, others' homes. The old people, there's a saying, par dhan patthar ke saman. Par dhan patthar ke saman. Par istri mata ke saman. What it means? Another man's wealth is like patthar, is like stone. If you go into someone's home, you will not want to pick up their jewels and put it in your pocket. You see whatever they have as like you see a stone. And par istri, another man's family, is like your own mother. She's the mother for whom. So when you cause families to break up, when you cause dissension, you cause families to fall apart, then what have you done? So here it says, this will be a normal run of things. You see families darling today and divorce tomorrow. You see all these kind of things happening and you wonder, what is really going on? Breakdown in family values, morality and things like that. It says, Jo kaha jhoot maskari jana. People will be honored as a saint with most unsightly clothes and long nails and long hair, and they speak on truth. And they're able to fashion and craft words just to make you happy. This is going to be the normal things of the day. But don't worry about that aspect. It talks a little bit about the ladies here today, and we have some ladies, but it doesn't mean you all, it means some of the other ladies. It says here, let's hear. Nari bibas kar sakal gosai, na chahi nat Markat ki nai. Markat is a monkey. In India, if you travel to India, Uncle, you have been to India several times. In India, there's a guy with a little drum. He beats the drum. He plays upon that kettle drum. And he has a monkey next to him. Sometimes a girl does it. And they have a rope. So when he plays the drum, the monkey jumps up and walks on the rope. He plays the drum, the monkey make a flip and stand up on his head. The age of Kali Yuga. The woman will have the drum. And you try to figure out who will be the monkey. Ramayana says, this is the normal order of the day. Woman beats the drum and the men dance like monkeys. Walk on their head, do a backflip. And the world seems to be going. Everyone is not understanding that this whole thing, Ramayana tells, it's such a sad state of affairs. So sing along. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Guru ke shish bahit kar lekha. एक न सुनय एक नहीं देखा मात पिता बालकनी बुलावही उदर भरी सोई धर्म सिखावही श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम Guru Sish Bahir And Kari Lekha, Ek na Sunai, Ek nahi dekha. The gurus and the disciples will be like a blind and a deaf man. Ek na Sunai, everyone say Ek na Sunai. Ek na Sunai. ek nahi dekha. Oh, it's such a wonderful example of what we see happening. It's like you're talking, like when we were growing up, I know Chandresh could attest to it, I'm sure Uncle Deo. You know, your parents look at you and you know what to do. They don't have to tell you anything. You know if you should get some water for the guest, if you should leave, you know what to do. Even, it's a normal thing. Here we see that the disciples will not be literally or physically deaf, but they will not listen. They will be you talking to them and they're not hearing anything. And the gurus will be blind. Blind means what? You are seeing. You are conscious of that this person is going down that road and there's a ditch there. This is your disciple. So because of losing favoritism, because of being in good favor with your disciple. But remember, the pundits or the gurus or the seers or the teachers or the instructors or the guiding forces, they must be, in fact there's a verse in the Ramayana that says that when men of medicine, when politicians and others have their own interests at heart, country is gone, health is gone, and dharma is gone. Sachiva Vaidya Guru Teenajo. Sachiva Vaidya Guru. So you must be conscious. So in this age of Kali Yuga, there'll be blind people, blind teachers, and there'll be deaf disciples. So it doesn't mean everyone, but it means you see it quite often. Think about it. You have attended a yajna for 7 days or 9 days. And if you walk out of here and you say to Uncle Deo, because people say that very often, boy, that food was the best. So it becomes a big prayer eating, which is good. But what about, if you ask right now, if you ask anyone, tell us quickly, the 9 nights, what are the 9 kathas? Tell us what was said on the first night, second night, like that. And people say, boy, so many things were said, I can't remember, but I know what they cook. And that's a very sad state of affairs, where we have lost the ability to listen, to pay attention, to recognize messages of the Ramayana. Many of the pundits of yesterday, even when they came here, when the all 4 parents came, these pundits and so came, they didn't have physical books, many of them. They knew the thing by heart. They could have recited these verses because they loved it. So he says here, in the age of Kali Yuga, the politicians will suck the blood of their subjects. They will bleed them. Their only concern will be how much more I could get. And it is so prevalent that there's no feeling of empathy, no feeling of love, that they're really interested to help the people. When these things happen, those who take and do not give back, they are a thief. And we'll end with this verse because it continues. Mata pita balaka hi sikavahi. Look around in this audience today and look at many homes and see parents will attend the temple, but their children are missing. The kids will be home looking at TV and TikTok and whatever. And you look around and see there are some families, I don't want to call families, but there are some families who would, when they show up, the whole family shows up. And you are a failure. The verse says here, mother and father balakahis bulavahi, they call their children and teach them one thing: study hard. Study hard. You'll get a big job, you'll get a powerful position, and you'll have plenty money, and you'll be a big man, you'll be a big person in the world. It says here, udara bharai soi dharma sikhavai. The only lesson that parents of Kali Yuga will teach is to fill the bellies of their children, but not to soak their cranium with virtues and values and humility and love. And that is why we are in a state of chaos, that you find that you have lost generations, that parents are doing all this, they're doing puja and yajna and build a temple in their yard, they're doing all these things, and then they whisper to you, Panditji, I don't know when I die, what will happen? Well, don't you see what happens? Don't you see that people die and strangers have to do the funeral? Don't you see that? that there's recalcitrance, there's hesitance, because you have not invested in your youth. You have not invested in creating planned succession, and everything has fallen apart. So men and women, Brahma Gyan Binu Nari Nara, when they sit to dine and when they sit after, they would talk, verses here, they would talk of the highest knowledge. When they start to talk about the verses of the scripture, you would think that these are the holiest men on earth. But the verse says as we end, Brahma Gyan Binu Nari Nara. The men and women talk of the highest knowledge, Brahma Gyan. Kahi na dusari baat, nothing else they talk. Kauri lagi loba basa. They would kill their brother for one shell. For 1 cent, they would fight their own sisters and brothers. And yet these men, religious men, will talk about the highest knowledge. What kind of life is that? That kind of fraudulence and hypocrisy and artificial behavior is going to get us nowhere. Great are those people who do whatever. In the papers, the newspapers, there are so many times you see on the newspaper, they are anonymous. Someone has given. They don't even want their names to be called. Much more to be, they don't want to be singled out or recognized for what they did. I did it. I did not do it. Whatever you do, you should say, Krishna Arpanam. I did not do anything. A man had a yajna, you know. Not Uncle Dev. Another man. He had a yajna. So he did several yajnas. So when he died and he went to Bhagwan, he says, you know, I did a lot of yajnas. And the Lord says, you know, we're looking here, we're not seeing anything on the punya. What have you done? He says, I did several yagyas. I had a big plantation. I had bananas. I used to get all the bananas and offer it in the puja. I had cows. I used to milk the cows. I used to make ghee. I used to do all. The Lord said, Dharmaraj says, you know, oh, you did all that? He says, yes. The last verse I'll tell you is what the Ramayana says, what the Lord told the man. Everyone says, Mai or more, Tor Yahamaya. If you do puja, yajna, and you use that word, I. Everything you do in a puja, the Pundit instructs you, say, Krishna Arpanam. I have done nothing. He says, never once you said, Lord, you give me these hands, I was able to cultivate the plants. You gave me the sunshine, you gave me the rain, you gave me everything. You gave me my parents and all that, all the support I got. I have gotten everything. I have given nothing. I have done nothing. Great people, people of substance and class, the hallmark of great people is to say, I have done nothing. It is all Bhagwan's grace. Bhagwan ki kripa. So this is what it says. When this man did all of this, but he forgot the source of his power, the attitude of gratitude. And always in life, me, Pandit Rishi, and all of us here, we are where we are today because Pandits of yesterday walked the road, ride their bicycle, made the sacrifices, helped us, supported us, blessed us. So how can we forget that? So it says all these things will happen, but he says, do not worry. Kagbusun says, Garuji, don't worry. In this age, there is one special gift. Treta, Krita Yuga, Treta, Dwapar, Puja, Mak or Yoga. All the other ages, you do yajna, puja, whatever. But in this Kali Yuga, just to chant the name of Ram, whatever you were able to get in all the other ages, only to chant God's name, you'll get all of that. So that is why in Kali Yuga, the greatest and the best and the most meritorious act is to come to God and chant His holy name. Bhajali Ram, 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 Bhajali Ram, Ram, Ram. So that is the only thing to purify and to help us. So this morning I would like to end here because it is already 1:30, 1:30 in some countries, and it's about 10 minutes past 11 here, which is a good time to conclude. Pandit Ji is here. We'd ask him to say a few words. And the gist of the message here is not a pessimistic or something to say, well, I am guilty of that. But I try to skip some of the things because, when you say some things, people get a little offended, and you don't like, because if it falls directly on you, you say, well, that applies to us. But it's a mirror. This is a mirror to show you. Like when you're going out, you say, oh, I have to fix my hair, oh, shims. I need to put on some more. So this mirror here is telling you, I need to correct myself. I need to improve on myself. I need to reflect that what I'm doing is not right. I should be a better role model, a better exemplar. I should teach. When you go to the temple and you do not take your kids, you may think that you make a point because the children say, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, right? My son, sometimes I say, Sandeep, you need to go. And I would do everything to ensure that he's there. Because if you don't do it, very sad will be the day you'll regret it. There'll be remorse and repentance. So thank you, everyone. Uncle Deo, to you and Auntie Tara, I hope that these wonderful lessons, and to everybody here, Panditji and myself, remember we are in the public's domain. We are exemplars. People are looking at us. They're looking at how we behave, how we conduct our affairs. And we should be mindful of that. That we are, if your watch in your hand has the wrong time, you will go wrong. But when the town hall clock is wrong, everybody is going to go, they're following that. So whatever little differences you may have, you always remember that you need to be a good exemplar. You need to show that strength, that togetherness, that love, that bonding that is important for everyone. So we end off here. We have all the speeches done. So we'll have now Pundit Rishi would speak, but I'll ask Chandresh to do closing remarks because you heard all the praises showered upon him, and that's very good that these things were done when he was not here. So it will not inflate his ego or anything like that. So it's exactly what the Katha is saying. So Chandresh ji would say his final remarks. My brother is here, Pandit Shivanan, Pandit Sharma Basdeo, who is one of the more senior Pandits in our country, and the father of Pandit Sunil. So Chandresh ji, you would do us the final remarks here, and of course you'll call upon Pandit Rishi to give us his blessings as well. I know some members have made all the sessions here. I think, Russell, you are one of those people. You made the 10 sessions. Did you come to the 10 sessions? Yes, so Russell and Lauren came to all of the sessions. And there are other families who came to all the sessions. I think Pandit Janki's daughter. Satya and Satish? Yeah, Satish. Sati and Satish. Those names are very powerful names. So Sati is the daughter of Pandit Janki Prasad. I was telling her some night, I spent sometimes one year I spent the entire year with Pandit Janki. He was the only Pandit that I knew of actually had 52 weeks of Yajna. I mean, I knew that because I was with him. Even during the Pitripak, she'll have Garud Puran Yajnas. And his Yagyas were not like what we do here. He used to be 3 times a day. So we are residential. So I spend an entire year, and of course other times I would go with him. So may God bless his soul. Pandit Janki is the Dada. He is the Dada of Pandit Abhidanand. He's the brother of Pandit Devki and the son of Pandit Sahadev. Pandit Sahadev was one of the Dharmacharyas of Trinidad and Tobago in the Mahasabha. So Pandit Janki, this area here would have been his playground. He would have done yagyas all over the country. And of course his daughter and his son-in-law would have been here all the sessions. And we say special blessings to them. Chandresh ji.
Thank you very much, Panditji. As I listened to Panditji this morning, I remember in the parliament when we move motions on the adjournment, meaning there was some emergency that we discovered late. So we'd ask the Speaker of the House, we wish to talk about this. The Speaker will grant you 15 minutes only to make your point. Beyond that, you was in trouble. and a ruling would be arrived at. What Panditji has done for us today is presented a executive summary of all nights. Very interesting. In fact, it's a comprehensive executive summary. Not many people can do that. He also left us with the way forward. Because oftentimes we talk about the issues and we forget to say, well, what may work or what could be tried to get relief or to get success. So Pundit Artma, I'm sure it is not by error that both Deo and Tara requested that you be the resident Pundit, maybe to capture what was just said. Taraji, all of us love you. Wish we could say the same for Deo. But this Kali Yuga we could lie to. We love you too, Deo. Really, Deo and Tara, as Pandit Artma and I have been around. When we came here the night before the Yagna, that was Thursday night. Except the decor here, this was the only thing on. Thursday night, a group of maybe 4 or 5 people. What's the young girl's name? Who did it? Huh? What? Vasha. From the area. Rochard Road. David's from Rochard Road, so he's make sure you find Rochard providers to do as much as possible. Last night I had to admire, what's this gentleman's name? What's his name? Huh? We have to recognize and appreciate Ram Naresh. He was under enormous pressure to get the mic in place, to get this. And I think the other confusion might have been the girl was making a request in Hindi, which further confused him. But you did very well. These are international performers, they travel the world. And it went very, very well. So all of us must be very, very happy. Devantara has indicated an interest in hosting next year. But on your behalf, I want to suggest, and I mean your support as well, that we move the venue, take it elsewhere. We'll have to work out where and how. It's too much work for Tara and Dave. We'll be feeling, we come here 9 nights and we don't know the pressure we'll be under. So we'll have to reduce that pressure. But we'll talk about that before you go to return to New York. Tara had a desire to perform a ritual, and now that the yajna is concluded, we make sure that takes place under all the requirements. So that's the next thing. There was adjusted a road in the area, and we'll consult with the chairman and the member of parliament for the area and have some kind of opening for that. But we'd have to talk with them, I'm sure they'll consent. But the chairman is not here. Pundit can't open the road without the, you see, it will not be proper. And if you, Pundit just said we must do proper things, that road will have to go on a map. On a map at a later point in time. Yeah, and if the agency responsible, that is the regional corporation and the office of the member of parliament, are not so informed, then it is not proper. And I will advise Pandit Artma as a former legislator, that is not the correct approach. But it's your rule. If you choose to open it, I think you should delay it and communicate with them. Well, it's a good time to ask Pandit Rishi. Rishi has one of the best hairstyles in this country.
अयोध्यापति रामचंद्र की वेद व्यास जी, पंडित आत्मा जी, पंडित सुनील वासदेव, पंडित शर्मा वासदेव, पंडित देवचंद Maharaj ji, other pandits who may be here, members of the bhajan kirtan mandali, dear devotees who are here this morning, and the many who are viewing on Sankhya television. Jai Sitaram. Sitaram everyone. I am happy to be here this morning. I would have been here during the week for 2 nights, and for somewhat I would have followed on Sankhya television, which affords you the convenience of watching at any time that you have some spare time. I want to say that this has been a great yajna, and the pandits that would have delivered, with the exception of myself, would have followed the readings of the Ramayana and would have brought to an end the discourses in such a wonderful way. Following all the nights, it seems as if there was some planning among the pundits in their delivery of their discourses, but I could tell you, well, from my point, there was no planning at all. I think the pundits took the opportunity to pay attention to what was being read and followed on. This family, Mr. Dev Gosine and Srimati Tara Gosine, has to be complimented in that they have hosted another yajna. When you talk to Dev Gosine, he has many ideas, many plans, and many resources. And the resources that he so possessed by God's blessings, he has great intentions and ambitions to use it for the propagation of Dharma. Yajnas like this, usually you have one vyas, and that one vyas will read for how many days. This yajna would have brought so many different perspectives, so many different styles of delivery, so many different thoughts, that even if you thought about getting fed up of hearing the same thing, you could not have gotten fed up. So after 180 years of the first set of Indians arriving here as immigrants to this land, we have been able to preserve this Dharma. Of course, we have lost many things that we wish that we could have preserved. Pandit Artma and many of the Pandits would have touched on our predecessors, those holy and noble ones in particular amongst the many social and leaders in our society. And they would have done a tremendous job in preserving this Dharma. Our 180 years seems as a milestone, and it is a milestone that we have been able to sustain, and appreciating where we are in reflection of our history. History is always important, because if we don't understand our history, then we will not be able to move forward. So we have a tremendous task, and that task is to navigate the way forward so that for another 180 years, we will not continue to lose the many things that we would have lost, but we will continue to build and sustain what our forefathers would have sustained. Under trying times, of course, and trying conditions, they did so remarkably well. And therefore, seeing this place fill every night, the 2 nights I came, coming to this venue, I was almost certain it will only be Panditji, the family, Chandresh, and the group, and maybe 1 or 2 persons. But despite the rains and the inclement weather, I saw at those 2 particular nights and many other evenings, this place had many devotees. And so, Panditji, your discourse this morning, I was so enjoying it, and I took in the rest coming down the road. And there was some desire in me to sit there and just listen. I sat next to Chandrish ji and I said, Chandrish, I am now seeing the decorations. I was here for 2 nights, but so intent on getting the job done that I was here for, I didn't notice all these things. So from where you sit, my dear devotees, it is always beautiful. Not only the decor and everything else and the discourse and the katha and the food, but by the mere fact that we continue to have yajnas in this country. We all know it is not as many as we would have had in the past because of many things. Affordability is one. But more than that, because there are many people who can afford, but because we have lost our way somewhat. This katha this morning is not to paint a picture of despair, not to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but it is a reminder that we all have responsibilities to fulfill. And it is only when we come together with one common purpose, then we will be able to move forward. Pandit ji pointed to the fact there will always be differences, and differences are not our weakness. Differences are our strength. And to move forward, we must appreciate our differences, but we must unite with a common purpose because we all do share the very purpose that this yajna has been built, and that is dharma. We live in times where there's a populist movement, and this is what the katha is telling you. When Panditji pointed to the Pundits and the holy books, by no means he attempted to attack any individual or any group, but he meant to tell us, do not be swayed, do not be persuaded, do not be caught up in the populist movement. The populist movement is what is popular all about, and what people seem to accept and what they reject is what is the authentic, what is real, the dictates of the scriptures. So let us not be caught up in that. Let us hold on to the fundamentals, the ideals, and the ideals will always remain the dictates of the scripture. Always remain. Samay, Kal, Desh, Vichar, all of that will have its place and its time. But we must never lose focus of the fundamentals of the scriptures. Let us hold that in our mind. Panditji again said this morning, families are important. And bringing our children to the yajnas, to the mandirs, having them involved and living dharma is equally important and more important than the secular education, the academic education that we want to give them. If you give them all of that, but you don't give them a foundation to stand on, that is the values and the morals and the teachings of the scriptures, then when they are confronted with the problems of life, all they will be able to say, I did not learn that in the university. My teacher never taught me that. How to deal with problems in the family, in the community, in the society. How to deal with problems as an individual. University never taught me that, because this is a university when we have yajnas. And in this university, we must avail ourselves and our children and our family regularly so that we can grow and develop. May God bless you. May God bless this family. And may we have more yajnas like this. As Chandrishi said, not only in this particular place, may we be able to move about the length and the breadth of Trinidad and Tobago and to have yajnas like this being delivered from our pundits who are most competent, qualified to do so. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki.
Very well said, Pandit Rishi. Last night, Dev and Tara afforded us the opportunity to witness the Bhojpuri group that is visiting from India. And tomorrow night, they're at the Dattatreya Yoga Center. And near home on Tuesday night at the Golconda Shiv Mandir, where Panditji's hosting us. This venue is also a business place. And the gentleman who conducts the business here is Vijay Ramai. And for the last 2 weeks, he has closed his business to facilitate. And what he sells more than anything else is garments from India. And in Indian arrival, they month. You could well imagine how much sales he might have lost. So those of you who want your outfits, Pandit Artma will instruct Vijay to give 10% discount tomorrow. And the rest of the week till Thursday. What did you say? 15%, Vijay? We just said 15%. Huh? Vijay, let people come and see us. So when they come for the discount, come quickly. Vijay. And Panatma, today is Mr. Pandey's birthday. Please offer prayer.
So while we are waiting, we are going to conclude in a short while. That's one of the reasons why we had all the talks earlier. So we will have, I wanted to just say, when I was speaking to Pandit Rishi the night before the Yagna, we were talking about the PA guy, and he said, man is a good man, he's a good guy. And I wanted to say that, because you know what, I am in this field all the time, and I'm particularly impressed with the PA guy, because he was always smiling, cheerful, easy to work with. And I think all of us here should give him a powerful round of applause. Be consistent every night, the sound system, no trouble, no headache whatsoever. He has really done a good job. And I want to put a plug for him here that, if you have a function, he's a good guy that you could, really did a good job. And now we have a few words from Mr. Vijay, and then we'll conclude.
Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram. Our esteemed Vyas, I'm very impressed with the knowledge and the wisdom that you have shared with us. Your knowledge and wisdom will certainly help us make better choices in the future, and I thank you very much for that. The disciplined shota, Mr. Gosine, I have to call him Mr. because he's an Englishman, and his wife, I admire, the discipline and the commitment that you have for making this yajna here today. And I thank you for that also too. To all the devotees who came night after night, we really appreciate your presence. You assured us that Dharma is in good hands. And to all my elders within the community, thank you very much. We stand on your shoulders, and the success that we experience today is all due to the foundation work that you have done. I know I am in a very bad position and time because everyone is hungry. And when the politician calls me to say something, I have to adhere to his call. But I want to take a few minutes to express my admiration and my thanks to Mr. Gosine. Our relationship for the last 16 or 17 years or so really added a lot of value to me in my personal life. For those of you who know Mr. Gosine, he although he's 82 years of age, and I'm saying his age because on the first night, the MC did mention his age, and the MC continued to complain about the tedious work that Mr. Gosine had to do to ensure that this yajna took place. I can assure him that Mr. Gosine is much more fit than he or me, because if we walk to that front door and come back, I'm sure I'm going to be coming back here panting, and Mr. Gosine will have all the energy in him. His youthful look and that energy really says something a lot deeper. And it really means to me that Mr. Gosine has a very great super soul in him. And we need to look a little bit deeper to find out why is that so. And to me, in my personal assessment, and I may be wrong and subject to correction, I really think that the things that he do, really makes him that super person. Again, I want to draw reference to the MC because I've been mapping the MC from the first day, and he's a politician just like me. So it's important for us to investigate the politicians in our community and those who are amongst us, right? And he did say that Mr. Gosine also spent a lot of money, and he expended a lot of money in this yajna. And many nights he will continue to say the same thing over and over again. But he introduced me as a businessman, and I want to share some of my business knowledge with him. That this is not an expense, it's an investment that Mr. Gosine made. Mr. Gosine made an investment to ensure, and I want to take a word from him and from the previous Vyas that was here. He's making an investment in his punya and his karma. And this is something that all of us must be cognizant of. That regardless of our socio-economic position, one day will come when we will have to leave everything. I think that we have grown accustomed to that now, right? I mean, boastfully or not boastfully, I would say, when I drove into the car park today, I saw a lot of Mercedes-Benz sign, and I felt very happy. I felt very happy because those who are driving their Mercedes-Benz understood the importance of putting aside a Sunday morning to come to get this gyan, this knowledge from Punditji here today. Unfortunately enough, I am also driving a Mercedes-Benz, right? So Mr. Gosine, I want to thank you very much for the time, the effort, the energy that you took, and may Ganesha continue to bless you and your wife, and thank you very much for giving me that space to be so close to you. And I really hope that you will use your knowledge and you will transfer it to the wider society. You know, we continue to discuss you going to the schools and sharing all your knowledge and your wisdom, because I truly admire you. It's not a mama guy. I'm not asking you for a reduction in the rental, but it's truly an admiration that I have for you. When you look at your journey from coming in as what he would tell me, a milk boy from Rochard Road all the way up to New York City. It's something that you have to really embrace and look at it. And the challenges that you may find in your life, like Punditji just spoke a little bit earlier, is something that you would recognize that Mr. Gosine embraced that. He always tell me in a very melancholic tone, he never had a beautiful girlfriend, and I would say it respectfully in front of his wife, because he was a milk boy. But he stood to his values and he stood to everything that he had to do to ensure that he became successful. And this is something, you know, I admire him for. And I know I'm taking up a lot of your time because you need that parasada and that bhajan just like me. But one more thing I want to say about him is that he's an advocate for Dharma. It's very, very important that we understand what Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita: fight for justice and fight for your dharma, because it's your dharma that is going to protect you. Panditji just spoke and articulated effectively the difference between cognitive intelligence and emotional intelligence. All of us here, I'm sure, have degrees and that kind of thing. That's your cognitive intelligence. But the emotional intelligence of love, of empathy, of self-regulation, of self-management, many of us don't possess that skill. And I always boast about one uncle of mine, and I get emotional when I speak about this, right? His name is Robert Ramsuberu. He does not have cognitive intelligence, but he certainly has a lot of emotional intelligence, and he's one of the most successful, loving human beings I know. He's here today with me. He flew in from Florida just to come in and celebrate the last few days here with us. So in conclusion, Mr. Gosine, again, thank you very much. Panditji, thank you very much. MC, you know we go to these politicians with the shoot with a little talk, but I also thank you very much for the tremendous role that you played in ensuring that this Yagna was successful. And last but not least, Mrs. Gosine, thank you very much for being that supporting person to Mr. Gosine and that wind beneath his wings. May God continue to bless both of you and all the best in the future.
Vijay Rama is a hustler, but a very good speaker. I'm not wearing my glasses, but I think I'm seeing all the way from Arima, Mr. Maharaj. Can I ask you to come and say a few words? Kamaraj, two sons are very good doctors. Huh? You can stay right there. Stay right there.
Jai Shri Ram, everyone. Morning. I'm very happy to be here. We are from Arima, and we met Pandit Artma. It's about 17, 18 years ago. We went to India with him twice, and then we went to Europe. Excellent person, lovely family, and we have been supporting him and liaising with him whenever we have any problems, whatever it may be. My 2 children are doctors, two daughters, and he played a very important part for getting them where they are today. And I thank him publicly for that, because we couldn't do it without him and his family. Thanks you for the invite, Pundit, and thank you for this opportunity, and Sitaram to everyone. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kimraj. And I'll hand over to Vidvyasji.
So as we reach to this point, we'd like to conclude with I ask the Brahmins to come up. Pandit Devchan, please come. Pandit Sharma Basdeo and the other Brahmins, please get the rice and so. We would like to conclude this yajna at midday. It is very auspicious to do it at that time. If there are any utterances, we do it afterwards. Pandit Rishi, I'm very happy that you came actually. Pandit Rishi, please come and join us as well. Yeah. So it's important that we, Uncle Dev, please come with Uncle Mr. Antara on this side. Yeah, come on this side. 1 second. Sorry? Yes, please come. The puja is important now, and we don't want to sidestep that. So the Brahmins will please come on one end. Please stand, everybody. It's important that we do this closing here. As I was saying, that Pandit Rishi read 2 nights. There was no... he mentioned that he will come, but I'm so happy that he came. I'm sure the family feels happy. He is the secretary of the Mahasabha Pandit Parishad, actually Pandit Parishad, and we are happy that he made the trees. Also the principal of Monroe Hindu. Pandit Devchan is associated with the family. There's Pandit Devchan here. Of course, all the other Pandits are familiar. Pandit Shivanand. The Pandits come on this side and get the rice and flowers, and we just do a little closing. And Pandit Sunil says he has flowers for everyone to offer. If you wish to come closer, you can do so, please do so, and he'll give you some flowers, those who wish to, as we do the final blessing, as we conclude this yajna, and any little speeches and so we'll do after that, but we'd like to join in closing moments. Take some flowers. Divine Lord, we thank you for all your blessings, your mercies, for all of these nights and days. We all pray that Bhagwan's hands will continue to bless us and guide us. Hari Om. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Gardadhvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Kando Hari. Shiva Hare Shiva Ram Sakhe Prabhu, Tribirtap Nivaran He Vibhu, Aj Janeshwar Yadav Paiman, Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Mevaram, Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam, Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam. Remember Mr. Pandey today. Remember Uncle Dev's relative who is not well. Remember all those who in various ways would have contributed. And we sing this one verse 3 times as we remember Bhagwan's blessings. Maybe you're going through a tough time, a difficult time. This verse is supposed to be the verse that our parents and foreparents chanted. I know you know it, so please sing it in the way they sang it. Everybody. Mangal Bhavana Amangala Hari Dravaru Sudarsarata Jiravi Hari Mangal Bhavana Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari Prabhu Sudarsarata Jiravi Hari Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama sprinkle the rice and the waters upon the Vedi, upon the devotees. O Divine Lord, we bend our heads low. We pray that this day may Bhagwan's blessings continue to guide us. As we count our many blessings, the traveling mercies we received, the many hearts and hands would have joined together. We do not know when we will live, how long we will live, what tomorrow will bring. To all those who are viewing us on our live stream, people all over the globe, we pray that God's hands will keep us strong, secure, safe. Bless our country. The climate has changed with a new political party in power. We know there is so much expectation. We have to pray for our leaders, for the torchbearers. They are the ones to keep us safe. And ultimately we bow to the feet of Bhagavan. His hands are strong, long and sure. We all pray and we join together. Hari Ho Rama Milan Kab Hoy Sandesa Wala Gir. Hari Ho Rama Milan Kab Hoy Sandesa Wala Gir. Hari Ho Rama Milan Kab Hoy Sandesa Wala Gir. Ya Jagadubho Vajagadubo Pau Apni Paas Rama Pau Apni Sab Santan Ki Charan Bandagi. Everyone Gavat Tulsi Das Sandesa Wala Gir. Hari Ho Rama Milan Kab Hoy Sandesa Wala Gir. Hari Ho Rama Milan Kab Hoy Sandesa Wala Gir. The Mukhya Shrotas, place your hands on the Vedi, get the blessings. She's there. Babs, you all sprinkle a little water, get the blessings. Om Avahanam Najanami Najanami Visarjanam Puja Chaivanajam Parameshwaram Chamatvam Parameshwaram. Om Bhav Shanti Antarikshvam Shanti Prithvip Shanti Apa Shanti Oshadai Shanti Vanaspatai Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Sushantir Bhavatu. Together. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. May your hands be upon us, may the rains fall in time, the sun shine in time. Thine be adoration, salutations, Lord. We bend our heads low down to your feet. We touch the Vedi and we pray that may you bless us and fulfill our desires and wishes. As we offer flowers and receive the vibhuti, the ash upon our foreheads, we thank you, Bhagavan, for allowing us this wonderful blessing. As we share a meal and the felicitation and hospitality of this family, may Bhagavan's hands be upon them and upon everyone. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Loudly. Raja Ramachandra ki! Raja Ramachandra ki! Raja Ramachandra ki! Jai Sitaram. Tell the person next to you Sitaram, and you all can come offer the flowers. Pandit Devchan here will give you vibhuti. Oh, Pandit Sunil. Anyone is, please come from any direction, get the blessings. During this time we'll have a Bhajale Ram Ram, Sita Ram Kahiye. Blessings to everyone. Please come and get the vibhuti. You can come any of the stairs, and if you don't come up, they will come and meet you there. Come and offer a flower anywhere on the Vedi, on the lingam. Take a blessing. If someone is not coming up, collect the flowers. Someone can collect the flowers from those who are not coming up to bring it up. Satish, let's collect the flowers from those who are not coming up. Randa can collect the flowers from those people in front. There, look somebody. Raj, look those people in front. Collect the flowers from them. So we all join together and let Prarthana. Go ahead.
Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram.
Chant the name of the song of the Lord. The song says, wherever you go, whatever you may do, the Katha says this morning, You can do all the worship and puja, but God's name is that powerful force to purify us. Everyone sing together, blend your voices.
Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram. तेरे पूरन हो सबका, तेरे पूरन हो सबका. Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram. काशी जावे मथुरा जावे, काशी जावे मथुरा जावे, तीरथ पीवे कमार. जाय हिमालय करे तपस्या, जाय हिमालय करे तपस्या, नहीं पावे विश्राम. Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram. आसन साधे भोजन साधे, आसन साधे भोजन साधे, साधे प्राणायाम. घट में ब्रह्म स्वरूपण चीनो, घट में ब्रह्म स्वरूपण चीनो, तीनों जगत से काम. Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram. संत समागम करे निरंतर, संत समागम करे निरंतर, जग से हो उपराम. ब्रह्मानंद परम पद पावे, ब्रह्मानंद परम पद पावे, होए मन निष्काम. Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, Bhajle Ram Ram Ram. तेरे पूरन हो सबका, तेरे पूरन हो सबका. Bhajle Ram Ram Ram, 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 Bhajle Ram Ram Ram.
It is a very important custom on the last day of a yajna that after the dan, we do one blessing of the dan, Uncle Dev. Yeah, so the custom, the tradition of the parents, the four parents, this is the last session, so there's normally a bhandara. So after the dan is done, then the all Brahmins are normally placed in one area, and normally the Yagyakarta would serve and ensure that, you know, the Brahmins. So please arrange in a short while, after one more bhajan, we do the dan, and then the Pundits here will be escorted by the family to an area where all the Brahmins and so would be, given bhojan. And you're all invited to stay back and enjoy. Remember, on Tuesday evening at the Golconda Mandir, the Indian High Commission, the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Cultural, cultural blessings, and so they continue to be a cultural hub for the country. So together with the Mandir and the Indian High Commission, we'll be having that troop at 6:30. Golconda is not very far to find. It's at the end of the highway, the Golconda flyover there. Where the traffic lights are, you turn left, then you make the first right, and the mandir is there. So once again, blessings as we sign off here this morning. We say special blessings to everyone, and thanks again to Sankhya Television and everyone for being here for all of these sessions. And remember, bhojan is prepared. Please remain. So we now have everyone join. Last bhajan, conclude. That Indra sing a bhajan now. Indra.
Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki jai.
Sankhya Television, your number one choice for cultural, inspirational, and spiritual programming. Find us on Facebook by simply searching for Sankhya Television. On our Facebook page, you can view and enjoy all previously aired inspirational programs.